Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
Hey, and good Saturday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to catch our drift. Joining me in the studio, it's Ed Bonderenka.
Hey there.
Hey, what's going on?
Is this thing on?
It is.
Yeah, okay,
and you're
good.
wearing green, so it's like Christmas already.
Yes, it's Christmas.
I don't see a lot of decorations
There's a flag behind you.
in the studio. That's not very Christmassy, but it is very Christian-y, and we are Christian. Don't get me started on that already.
Okay, sorry.
All right, well, welcome to The Drift. What we do every Saturday is go over the news that we put on thedailydrift.com. It's
The news you need to know.
excellent. And our sponsor, proud sponsor this half hour, Calvary Baptist Church is having a Christmas candlelight service Sunday, December 23rd at 5 p.m. And they're located on Old Whitmore Lake Road, 7527 Whitmore Lake Road. You can call them for information, 734-449-2342, right off of just south of 6 Mile or north of North Territorial. And you can also go to cbcwhitmorelake.org if you want to see some other information. But feel free to call them, 734-449-2342. Nice place to do a
Christmas special. Bring your family.
yeah, and it's 2 days before, so it's not like you're going to be jammed up on Christmas Eve, So
one of
it's
the
Sunday.
2 days a year you can go to church.
Yes, excellent. So it's maybe I'll stop by.
I was told once, you should do that. You should.
I probably
do that.
should.
Yes. Text me when you're there. I'll come and join you. Yeah.
With bated breath, you'll be waiting. won't
Yes, I had somebody in our church once say to me, your pastor's always preaching the same message all the time. And my wife says, well, maybe if you came on more than Christmas.
There you go, right? Okay, so there's your sponsor, Calvary Baptist Church, Christmas Candlelight Service, Sunday, December 23rd, 5 p.m. Go there and hang out for a little while. It'll be good for your soul. Okay, so we're going to start out the show with Michigan Senator Patrick Colbeck is calling in, and we're going to talk about Michigan Grassroots. Yeah. So, Patrick, welcome to the show.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Gary and Ed. Great to be with you.
Merry
Patrick.
Christmas to you. Good to see you. I wish we could get you in here in person so we could see your smiling face.
Yep.
Well, I'd be a disappointment to my nephew on his birthday, so I'm not going to do that.
Forget
but I
it.
appreciate the offer.
Excuses. All right. Hey, I have a very important question for Patrick right now. Patrick?
Yeah?
Have you called Marvin?
It took me a minute.
Are you talking about that Martian from the Looney Tunes cartoon?
No, not Marvin the Martian. No.
Unemployment, Patrick, because you're done, right? Are you officially done, or you got to go to the 31st?
Yeah. My office is pretty much almost all cleaned up and cleaned out. And if it wasn't for folks like Planned Parenthood slipping pink slips under my door, I'd be cleaned up even faster.
That's
rude.
Let's just take for a minute. I saw that on Facebook, and I thought to myself, really? That is just cold, number one.
Oh, it is.
But childish, number
It's
two.
childish,
Really,
yes.
you're going to waste somebody's time and what precious money Planned Parenthood must be having right now to pay somebody to slip a pink slip that's under your door.
I got to appreciate it. It's a good gag.
You were terming it out, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of, you just think about that. I posted that up there. I posted a photo of it because I want people to start thinking about the mindset that goes into preparing it. Somebody had to go off and put the creative effort for that. Then they had to go off and find the money to go off and print it out. And then somebody had to go around to all the offices and slip it under the Republican pro-life elected officials. I mean,
right.
Wait, you're talking
goes into that.
You're talking like a grassroots organizer. That's where you're missing it. Soros funded it. He paid for the design work, and he paid for it to be delivered.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty pathetic, I thought, and it highlights when you contrast that to what Tom Perez is talking about as the new Democratic national chair. And how he's denigrating Christianity and the messages that Christians are hearing from the pulpit as a fake news source. It kind of highlights this is really a Joshua 24:15 moment for people that are still voting with the Democrats. You got to choose which side you're on, and it's pretty clear one side is full of hate. I mean, you saw it with El Sayed. He explicitly said he hated me. So, and the other side is one that's actually trying to help those who are defenseless, and it's a big difference. And I'm hoping more and more Democrats participate in that walk-away movement.
And one side had to have a vote for God in their platform go 5 times before they ignored the vote and put him in there anyhow, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Patrick, tell us what's going on with Grassroots.
Well, as you know, we came out of a nice little gubernatorial campaign, and we fell short. And it was a case where we had name recognition around 15%. And despite that, we still got 13% of the vote. So you can't say it wasn't a matter of our message not resonating. We just didn't reach enough people that knew who the heck I was. And so what I found is there's a lot of grassroots candidates that struggle with how to access that 85% that really aren't paying attention until they walk into the voting booth that they're going to vote for. And we had some great candidates in Wayne County, for example, like Pastor Deshaun Wilkins. We had Michael Frazier. We had Darian Moore. We had up in Sterling Heights and Warren, we had Jasmine Early. There's some really good candidates that worked very hard on their campaigns, but they didn't get the traction they needed because they couldn't reach people without money. So I said, how are we going to find a way to get these really good candidates who don't have deep pockets access to financial support? And started noodling on that and came up with something called the Grassroots Alliance. And the strength of the Grassroots, as you guys know, is our numbers. We don't have a lot of deep pockets. There are some people with deep pockets, but in general, these are not the folks who are able to write a $10,000 check to a campaign. These are people that could afford, however, maybe $10 a month to go off and support a cause. And so if you have 10,000 people contributing $10 a month, that's about $2.4 million per campaign cycle that can be contributed towards these grassroots candidates like Deshaun Wilkins. And so I started getting to thinking about how could we actually go off and make that happen. And I came up with the idea that, well, first of all, we need to make an organization that makes it easy for people to form independent PACs, independent political action committees. And a single independent PAC is limited in how much they can actually contribute to any given candidate. So, for example, a state rep race, they're limited to 10,000, state senator, 20,000, and a statewide candidate like governor or whatever, 68,000. That's not enough to go off and make a significant dent in those campaigns. But if you multiply that one PAC times 10, and you have 10 PACs that are able to write $10,000 checks or $20,000 checks or $68,000 checks, now all of a sudden that grassroots candidate is instantly viable.
Oh,
and
I see what you're saying.
Grassroots Alliance is all about.
Yeah, so this is literally like a PAC or political action committee for the common man, right?
Absolutely.
This is like
entry level.
Yep.
Yeah. So like Ed and I could just go start a PAC, help raise some money, and then we can actually pick one candidate or multiple candidates and spend that money. And if there's 100 of us doing that, that's a great idea, Patrick.
And the best, well, thanks. Well, unfortunately, the
scientist.
Democrats had it first. I didn't realize this at the time when I was looking into it, but they've been doing this for well over a decade. Now, unions they get monthly donations that go to political action campaigns, right?
That's what you call that, donations?
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are. Well, that's why a lot of people are frustrated. But they're much more organized on it. They've had an organization called Alliance for Justice for years. And this Alliance for Justice is kind of the bad guys equivalent of what I'm proposing for the Michigan Grassroots Alliance. And furthermore, they had an organization called Broader Advocacy, which their sole purpose was to make it easy for these members of this Alliance for Justice to set up their political action committees. Well, that's what we're going to replicate. I've got an organization called the Rocket Fuel Fund that is designed to go off and provide tools, provide assistance to people setting up PACs, so we make it easy for people that are kind of intimidated by all the campaign finance regulation, the legal aspects, and all the overhead that goes into creating and managing an independent PAC. We're going to provide guidance to make that as easy as possible for those folks so they can just concentrate on raising money and finding good candidates to give the money to.
Okay, so what would be step one? Go to your website. What's the website for the Grassroots organization?
Yeah, step one, go to MichiganGrassrootsAlliance.org, and you'll get a little bit more information around what we're actually trying to do there. There's an email address that if you're interested in helping out, it's just team@migrassrootsalliance.org. We are walking before we run. We've got enough money right now just to handle some basic infrastructure items like a list of people to contact that would support the grassroots, and then we're going to set up an email server so you can send it out to more than 200 people a day, and that people can get access to. And we've got that basic infrastructure right now covered. But you can also help us by sending us contact information that you may have, so we can broaden the number of people that we can reach out to. Otherwise, we got a purchase list, and that takes away money that could be given to candidates.
Right,
so
right.
I'm using this. If you kind of think of this as a hub and spoke model, the hub is this rocket fuel fund, and the spokes are all the independent PACs that are going to be their lives are going to be made easier by this rocket fuel fund. Right now, we're in the stage where we are trying to build up this rocket fuel fund, and I'm a little bit. I don't have too much time to put towards that right now because we're in the middle of lame duck, which is another total other topic right now. But as soon as that's over with, I'm going to spin that up and get to the next level so we make it easier for folks to plug in.
Okay, so people can go to the website. They can either get on board for donating, or maybe even more important, they can give contact information for their friends and contacts, be that email, I'm assuming?
Yeah, emails work best, but
okay.
Phone numbers would be good as well. The other thing is if you're interested and you're passionate about giving independent PAC, you want to set up maybe like a Choose Light PAC or a Second Amendment PAC or a Religious Liberty PAC, let me know that as well. Send it to that email address, team@MichiganGrassrootsAlliance.org, migrassrootsalliance.org. And so right now I've got about 5 PACs that people are interested in setting up, but obviously if we get to 10 and 20, we've got critical mass to make a huge impact. And by the way, if these PACs are aligned with elements of the Republican platform, that's powerful in quite a few different ways. Right now, we complain that a lot of our elected officials, we're just not following the platform, right?
Yeah.
There's the big divide in the Republican Party today is you have platform Republicans and you have fraternity Republicans. The fraternity Republicans gave us our last election, and the results in November were pathetic. We need to get back to that basic platform, and if you set up a PAC aligned with each element of the Republican platform, you may not get a candidate that strikes 100% across the board on the platform, but you will get some candidates that maybe you can agree that could get funding from maybe 8 out of 10 of these PACs.
Yeah.
And then when you write a check, as an elected official, when somebody writes you a big check, it's human nature to actually remember that you want to make sure that you keep that person happy, right?
Yeah.
And if we do this right, we're going to get these guys our elected officials starting to respect the Republican platform, and that's going to be only goodness for Michigan if we get more and more elected officials who not just talk about it on their campaign lit, but actually do it when they're in office.
Right. Okay, and then Facebook is always a good place to catch you, too, because I think I scrolled past. So what's your Facebook page?
It's just Michigan Grassroots Alliance, and it's MI. Whenever I say Michigan, it's MI Grassroots Alliance, and there's a Facebook page up there for that right now. So between rocketfuelfund.org or migrassrootsalliance.org, they all point to the same page. And the Facebook page, you'll be able to plug in with us.
Okay.
We are just getting the ball rolling on this, so I just want to highlight, manage expectations a little bit. This is
okay.
We're going to be walking before we're running.
So you're going to add the Facebook link and the email address to rocketfuelfund.org. Contact us.
Yeah, we'll get that all up there. Actually, I think it's already plugged in for the link to the contact.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Facebook pages. So,
well, excellent.
That's
excellent.
what I get to do in my spare time. I've actually created websites too. So you got to geek as a state senator here.
Yeah, there we go. Well, I'm glad you're staying involved, Patrick. I was worried that you were just going to take a retirement vacation, whatever, and we wouldn't.